Welcome back. Alright, so here's the beast of this playlist. The beast is the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks portion of my collection is large. I am sure there are duplicates in here. I'm seeing a couple that might be, but it's tricky because they've changed their jerseys so many times. So, interestingly enough, this is the first jersey I ever owned, and this is the replacement for said jersey. This one here, and it doesn't show up as much on camera, but the logo is in pretty rough shape, and I had to replace this. I sewed it on myself twice, and then my wife re-sewed it on. It just came off. So when I had a chance to replace it, this I got used, but I had to replace it because this is just. I'm still proud that I have it. Again, this was the first jersey I ever bought, so that question does get asked, so I figured I might as well answer it. Alright. So as we get into this beast that is the Vancouver Canucks and their jerseys, we'll start with very similar. However, alright. So this Reebok has V's on the sleeves. Vancouver's been trying to make the V's happen for a very long time. This is nothing new, but this jersey is very similar to, of course, the other. So the striping is different, but they're very, very similar to one another. And yeah, so the stick and rink is still a popular logo with Canuck fans. The interesting thing is, I want to say 20 years ago there was a movement people had towards wanting to see the stick and rink as coming back as the logo instead of the Orca, but that's kind of gone by the wayside. At this stage, it can come back anytime. All right, here's the blue version of the Throwback. So again, stick and rink, nothing on the shoulders, clean look. The Vancouver Canucks had a really nice look in the 70s, but I don't know, maybe they figured it didn't pop. So they're like, well, that doesn't really pop. We need something people are going to talk about. We need something people are going to be surprised by. And this was to inspire fear in the opposition of the Vancouver Canucks. It did not. So spoiler alert, this did not inspire fear in the opposition. Laughter, sure. Fear, not so much. The Flying V jerseys are widely scorned, although I will say I've seen more of them over the last 6 to 10 years because, again, people get nostalgic and they want to, see these back. And I've seen people say, well, make these blue and green. They're grad gowns if you do it in blue and green. They're grad gowns. You can't have a team out there skating around in grad gowns. The only way it works is if you take the Canucks helmets for those games and you put a little tassel on the top, and then when they win, you can move the tassel to the other side. Otherwise, it's going to look silly. So when they did make the change, and they went to the skate logo, initially, they wouldn't give up the V's. The V's moved to the shoulder, and there's some of that gorgeous, ugly yellow that dominated the 80s for Vancouver, LA, and Pittsburgh. But yeah, these are the jerseys that they went to, and I like these. I do. I think they're sharp jerseys. I had a really hard time not having that in my top 100. Just saying, I had a really hard time with myself over not having that in the top 100. So that's where doing a countdown where it's the top 100 is tough for me. Not easy. Now, the orange and gold version, I have. So this is the orange and gold version rather than the red and yellow they went to later. And again, personally, I prefer the orange and gold, although, this red and yellow one was in the top 100, right? But yeah, so the Vancouver Canucks went to orange and gold before they went to red and yellow. Now, for the red and yellow, so here we have a CCM, and here we have the Team Classic Adidas, and you'll see what Canuck fans got mad about. You see that white part over the S? At the S at the end there of Canucks? And see how this one doesn't have that white bit over the S of the Canucks. That's how ridiculous Canuck fans are, that when they saw that this didn't have the white going all the way to the end of the S, they complained that the jersey was wrong and they needed to redo it, which is just weird. It's such a minor thing, and it's something that when people complained about that with the Adidas, the newest Adidas that they were wearing, I had to point out that this Team Classic had come out about a year before, and I'd never seen anybody complain. So, this goes to show, all it takes is the right person on social media to post about something, and fans will go, he's right. He's right. They changed that. How could they do that? All right. I think that's it for all the skate ones that I have. I do think that's all of the skate, minus when they went back to it. So the black skate, they went back to it, and there's your 50th. And again, there's the S without the white over the top, which is apparently sacrilege. And then this one, they just took the white out of it altogether, which I think makes it a cleaner logo. But again, you guys can let me know your thoughts. And then there's this one here. I was the only one that liked this one, so I'm going to come right out and say I was the only one that liked this Canucks jersey. I thought it was really sharp. But I think part of it was, during that era, the team started losing a lot. So they had a bad record wearing this jersey, and that will always cause people to have a negative view of a jersey as if your team loses every time they wear it. So just ask Cab fans about how they feel about blue jerseys in Montreal. Not nearly as good as when they were first revealed. All right, so Utica. I have some Utica jerseys. So this is the home and the away for Utica. The away one I got after they announced their affiliation was changing to the Devils, and I've never worn it. You can see the tags are still on that one. The blue Utica Comets I have worn. I believe I've worn that one in a video at the very least. And they're sharp. And again, they did a nice job with the Canucks, but I do prefer this logo in the Devils colors. I think it looks really nice. Now, one jersey that Utica did that I thought was absolutely fantastic is this one here. And when they did this, I thought this was a way of kind of transitioning to maybe having a green jersey for Vancouver. And just seeing how well this one did. I just think that's absolutely gorgeous. I love that logo. I think the Utica Comets, really nice branding for that team there. But I was wrong. The green was a prelude for the Abbotsford Canucks. So this is Abbotsford's home and away. When you ask where Johnny Canuck is, he's in Abbotsford. And of course, it's got the Canucks logo on the shoulder. I love these jerseys. I think they're fantastic. There's an A on the arm of each of them, of course, for Abbotsford. And they're nice. Very popular. I see these all the time, of course, living in Abbotsford. But I do think that this is sustainable, unlike the last time Abbotsford had an AHL team, which was the Heat. So yeah, for the Abbotsford Canucks, this is pretty sharp. So there you go. A lot of AHL jerseys. And then I had a subscriber send to me this one here. This is an ECHL Kalamazoo K-Wings. And I believe this affiliation is back next season too, where I think it's Kalamazoo that the Canucks have their farm team in. So you got Utica Comets here, because that's where they were sending players up to, as well as Vancouver. So it's a really nice overall look. And again, Canucks colors and striping. I do like the K-Wings logo, Kalamazoo over the top, because at the time that jersey came out, the Canucks were using the wordmark. But before we get to the wordmark era, and we're getting close, we're not that far off, we have this era, which was the Orca. Now, when the Orca debuted, there was a lot of, what's that? Is that really the Canucks logo? I refuse to acknowledge this was the Canucks logo for, I want to say, the first year. That I was like, that's not good. Now, the stick and rink on the shoulders is excellent. That's nice coloring. If they ever wanted to do a throwback where they do this coloring and they had that stick and rink logo on the front, people would buy it. But I do think people would buy this if they came back to this at some point. This, of course, was in the top 100. This is very much as nice as this one, but again, I limited myself as to how many jerseys I could have for one team, and this video will show you why. I have a lot of Canucks jerseys that I like. This is also a different kind of hanger. I apologize. I try to make sure all the hangers are this felt or velvet. Anyways, the flock-lined hangers. So I get asked every now and then what kind of hanger I use, and the problem is that the hangers are at a different level, and I don't like it. I like them all to be the same. Plus, the Sears ones that I got from when Sears closed, they're wider, and so I can get more jerseys into a smaller area with these hangers that I use for 99% of my jerseys at this point. All right, so we did that era. So I'll move this one back here. That I should have weeded out the first time around. Apologies. And then we get into, oh, right. And then there was this. And again, the Canucks record with this jersey wasn't great, but people generally weren't a huge fan of this. And of course, the reverse retro they came out with in 2020 is a throwback to this jersey. I think the reverse retro is nicer than this jersey here, but they're both quite nice. And again, as a Canuck fan, I might be sort of biased, but I don't mind the gradient. I know there were a lot of fans that didn't like the gradient jerseys, whether it's the red skate or this one here, but I do like this one. When the channel started up, I didn't have this jersey. I desperately wanted this jersey. It was my wife that initially found it for me. So kudos to her for tracking it down. And then I found that source, and yeah, I found other jerseys from that source, which last time I checked on eBay is no longer there. No, that was the third during. Well, I'll talk about this third then. So this third here is fantastic, and again, you got Johnny Canuck on the shoulders. This is your modern stick and rink. I apologize that this logo is as look at that. So that's why I don't wear it in videos anymore, because look at that. That's a bubbly logo, and it's Reebok. So no idea if you've had this problem with your stick and rink. Guess what? So have I. And I'm not sure what the cause of that is, but maybe it's because at the time I got this, I was still putting jerseys through the dryer. Maybe. I don't put jerseys through the dryer. I haven't for a very long time, but maybe that's what caused that to be as bubbly and as warped as that is. But I don't really wear it in videos. It is one of those jerseys that, I'll throw on and I'll look in the camera to start the video, and then it's like, gotta start again because that looks terrible. All right, so moving along, and we get into the wordmark era. So the wordmark was never popular. I understood why they did it. I understood that it was a callback to the Vancouver Canucks before they were the NHL Vancouver Canucks, back to the WHL days. But it never worked. It meant the Orca was smaller. It wasn't centered on the jersey. It looked awkward. So that's why, for me, these jerseys, and I especially think since they've made the change, these jerseys just haven't aged particularly well. Now, in the midst of everything, when they went to the wordmark era as well, you have the Vancouver Millionaires jersey. They never won wearing this, which is too bad. I would love to see this in a green color. I'd love to see this in blue, too, to be honest. But the Vancouver Millionaires, nice, sharp jersey, and it is a shame that they never won wearing it. This one I've had forever. This one I've had for a very long... This one I've had since before the channel was around. So it's kind of banged up a little bit because I used to wear these all the time. I didn't really, care about what condition they were in as much as I do now. So, yeah, really sharp as the air conditioner kicks in. It's relatively warm today. It's not too bad. But again, when you're in a room that heats up more than the rest of the house, you've got to make sure that it doesn't get too warm, because then that radiates to the rest of the house. And then it takes longer for it to cool down. Now... Oh, okay, I see why these are both in here. So let's talk about both of these. So, this Vancouver Canucks, of course. There's the 50th anniversary. This is a Bo Horvat. So how do I deal with the Horvat? Well, I've also got a Luongo, and it feels like Luongo is one that I might be allowed to wear a little bit more than Horvat. Horvat, definitely one that I'm probably not going to be okay wearing as a Canuck. And again, personally as a Canuck fan, I'm fine with wearing it. Of course, there's no C on this either. But yeah, I know fans aren't very happy in Vancouver with Bo Horvat at this point. And so, yeah, that's why I've got multiples of that in here. And then we get into this one here. So this, again, is after the word mark's removed. It's remarkable what a difference that makes. And, of course, you've got the modernized stick and rink on the shoulder, same as the others. The striping's nice. I think the Canucks colors are perfect. I think the jersey design is excellent. And as long as we've got this, we're in good shape. So I will talk about this one first, however. This is the Heritage jersey. The Heritage jersey is a near miss. The Heritage jersey is a near miss because of the giant green stripes. If not for the giant green stripes, I think that the Heritage jersey would have been more popular. I think if you add a white stripe in here and take away one of the green stripes, I think it would have just been nicer. It's still a nice jersey. This is a Quinn Hughes, so not traded yet. So I can wear Quinn Hughes. I've got the Brock Besser, of course, for the other reverse retro. But it's a nice one. I have others, too, because they went on sale. They went on sale for dirt cheap. Canucks were trying to get them out the door, and they had player names on them. So I was like, sure, I'll get a JT Miller. Sure, I'll get a Bo Horvat. Why not? That's your Demko. Bring it on. All right, this year's reverse retro was excellent. I greatly appreciate this jersey. I think the Canucks hit it out of the park with this one. And I appreciate it more having seen it in person than I did before. Now, of course, this Johnny Canuck is quite different from this Johnny Canuck. This Johnny Canuck is the one that the Vancouver Canucks wore back in the day. This is the modern version of this Johnny Canuck. So if you're going to do a throwback, you don't want it to look like just an Abbotsford jersey in different colors. So I understand why they went back to this other Johnny Canuck, and I think it was fine. But there were definitely fans that weren't happy about it. And of course, the new stick and rink that's going to be around for a while, and I like it quite a bit. I do expect that we'll see it a ton this coming season. I've mentioned in the 100 video, of course, that there's V's on the arm here, and you've got the mountains inside. It's a really nice jersey, really sharp, and nice addition to the collection. So I've mentioned before, but I'll throw it in here too. Most teams have a dominant color. The Vancouver Canucks, when you go into a Vancouver arena, you can kind of see there hasn't been a dominant color throughout their history. It kind of looks like Skittles. You have blue, you have green, you have black, you have red, white, yellow. Like there's various colors. There's various colors in a Vancouver Canucks arena. Although as the years go by, blue is more and more dominant because most of the people wearing the other colors other than black are my age and older. It feels that way anyways. And the youngins, they grow up knowing this is the Canucks look, so that's what they get. All right. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.